Hey friends, this is Liron and you're joining me in another drawing lesson. This time we're gonna learn how to draw a female figure laying on the floor and from the back. So it's gonna be a little similar to something I've already done, but this pose is a little more complex, I think. So I'm gonna hope to achieve something nice here today. I'm really doing this kind of spontaneously on the fly. So first things first, I think we'll begin with drawing the head. In order to do that, you can start with a circle. And then you can kind of define where the head goes. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about how I do this, but generally I try to find the center of the face here and see where the head is turned by drawing this line, and then I sort of create the lines representing the chin and the cheekbones. You might want to do that with using a little more extra steps, but I'm kind of looking at a reference and drawing, so I can afford to skip some steps. So this will be the center line of the face, and this is gonna be the vertical center. I mean, it's not necessarily the center, but where the eyes are gonna be. So, and I'm not even gonna get into the details of the face here, just more of a figure drawing video. But still, just so we can kind of get an idea of how the face is turned. By the way, I always wondered why people say idea with an R in the end. Like, I'm not sure I understand that. So if you know, I know that's quite random. I was talking to a friend about this the other day. Idea. I don't get it. It says idea. Anyway, so now what I'm gonna do is sort of indicate a line representing the shoulders. So it's gonna be something like this. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna throw a few lines that will represent different parts of the body and take it from there. I'm gonna do it really like all over the place, but that's fine. Let me check that you can see what I'm doing here. It looks okay. Perhaps I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Now I'm gonna draw a line that's going to represent the entire flow of the body here. So it's gonna be a curved line, because the female figure tends to be very curvy. So we'll have this sort of line here. And now I'm gonna draw the waistline, so it's gonna be around here, I believe. And you know what? I'm really sort of improvising here, and it might not be as accurate as I want it to be, but I'll try and make the best of it. So that's about right. And it goes like this, and you will notice the difference in the angle of this line representing the shoulders and this line representing the waist. And from there, let's center this a bit. From there, people are sleeping, so I'm not raising my voice too much. Hopefully you can hear everything. From there, you kind of we're kind of done with distances and basic lines. This is where the feet are gonna be. But let's go in and start trying to fill this up with some content. So let's draw the hand here on which she is leaning. So I'm going to draw a circle representing the sort of yeah, I forgot the name of that thing. But it's the shoulder, and then from there I'm gonna pull down a line coming this way, and this will be the elbow. And I believe I went a little overboard here. Let's try it again. As I was saying, just looking at a reference, trying to find where the lines are gonna be. So that's a little better. And another line here representing the hand. She has it in front of her face, and she's actually smoking, so whatever. I don't like smoking, but it was like that in the reference, so I'm gonna try and include that. And for the legs, we're gonna begin drawing some more of an indication of what it's gonna look like. So we have one leg over here that's sort of gonna move on this part towards us, and so it's gonna be relatively shorter. And here we have something interesting happening, which is the leg moving away from us and here moving more towards us. So we'll have this leg here and the other one sort of here in the back. Hope that makes sense. The other hand is not visible in this angle. So what I'm gonna do now is kick it into time-lapse and begin sort of solidifying this into a more human-like shape, and I'll be back really soon. Okay, I've done quite a bit, and I wanted to sort of get back to you and explain some of it. Basically, I'm looking at the image reference and trying to figure out the angles and the lines here. This is something that I really need to personally work on. I'm still not where I want to be, and as is apparent by the drawing, but you can sort of see that there is a line continuing all the way in the back, all towards the butt. And you want to get that sort of center line in its place. And here we have sort of the other side of the body, and look at all those curves. It's really curvy, and all the way to the butt there is sort of this one curve here as well, and then in the leg there is another one. So I'm gonna get that another curve in right now. So this area is the back of the knee right here, and this one is the same for the other leg. Now I'm gonna erase some of the lines here just for clarity's sake, so you can understand what I'm doing better. And I may have gone a little overboard with the butt here. This happens. Okay, now this is the upper part of the leg, and the lower part is right here. Now, because of the angle, the lower part is sort of going on top of the upper part. So you have this sort of, you see how it goes above it and all the way down here. Now here we have a funny shape because this part is laying on the mattress. So so it's kind of squeezed. And the lower part. And notice how there are virtually almost no straight lines here. This is all curves. And her foot here is at quite a challenging angle, and I'll try to get it in one go. And as you can see, I'm really almost using no guidelines here, which is sort of to my detriment, but sometimes it's a nice way of practicing. Really just trying to see the drawing and draw it as it is. And it's quite a challenge, to be honest. It's not easy at all. Usually you'll see me using more guidelines, but sometimes I feel like all those guidelines sort of constrict you. Because you drew them, you're kind of committed to them, and then you can't correct any errors if you weren't 100% accurate. And sometimes, you know, I prefer just to take the risk and not use them. Now here we have the lower part of this leg, and again it goes like this. And as you can see, the foot itself here is pointing, both feet are pointing towards us. This one is hidden behind that one. If we were to add some shadows to this, it'll become a little clearer, and I may do that real quick in time-lapse, sort of try to flesh things out a little more. Hands can be a real challenge sometimes. In the original image there's sort of this pillow here blocking, like conveniently blocking the elbow, but whatever. And here we have this very interesting angle of the hand, a rather simple but interesting angle. So we have this first, second, and third lines here. And this is the first knuckle, and this is the second knuckle. And the thumb rather is sort of behind that. And then you can go ahead and kind of divide it into a half, and then each half into quarters, and you sort of get the structure of the hand. Not necessarily the best looking hand, but still somewhat correct. And she has this cigarette, which is a no-no, but I will draw it anyway. Here, right behind this finger, like this. Now, just to make it look a little more... you know what, I'm gonna pop the time-lapse now and try to get a little bit of shading here, make it look a little cleaner. And I'll be back soon to wrap this video up. As you can see, a nice finish here. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've added a little bit of shading here. I used the reference to see where light comes from. There was a very interesting play with the light on the feet that I couldn't really get in such a short video, so I should have probably just stopped there, but I just blurted out something. Anyway, this is it. I hope you enjoyed it. This video was actually a request. If you have any other questions or requests, let me know and I'll try to make a video on what you asked me to. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and also check out my website in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next video, so take care.